I chose Job Loss for my subject, and I used Red, White, and Pink Slip Blues as my song. In the past few years, employers have tried to nip and tuck their labor costs by reducing overtime, shortening the work week, and freezing wages. Job loss is becoming much worse. In January of 2009, there were 62,000 jobs that were cut. A major proportion of that was from Caterpillar, which cut 20,000 employees, the world's largest maker of construction and mining machinery. Sprint Nextel laid off 8,000 workers along with Home Depot. President Obama cited the layoff announcements and remarks as he urged action of a $85 billion economic stimulus package of tax cuts, emergency benefits, and public spending projects. The United States has dropped 2.59 million jobs since the recession began in December of 2007, and unemployment rose to 7.2% in recent months. Job loss is expected to slow down, but growth is not expected to rebound significantly until 2011. Natural resources and mining jobs decline as the U.S. and world economy gradually emerge from the downturn. Construction employment grows slowly as the housing correction gradually slows down. Manufacturing jobs will stabilize for the next 5 years and after a terrible decade. As the U.S. world demands rebound and the value of the U.S. dollar falls. I chose this subject because recently my dad got laid off from his work and didn't have any work for 6 months, but because he belongs to a union, after a certain amount of time, if his company wouldn't find him any work, then he could just go down to the union hall in Wheeling and sign his papers off to him, or off to the owner of the union. And after that, they found him work down in Morgantown, and so that's like a good thing about the union today. I don't want to do my project on the union, but that's just what the union will do for you. And they gave him better benefits and everything like that than what his last job gave him. The lyrics talks about how he worked for a mine or a mill, and he was a foreman on the job, and how the mill was constantly running, but they weren't making enough money there, and so they moved to Mexico. That's basically saying all of the major companies we have in the United States today, whenever they don't make enough money, they're just going to leave, so that's cutting our job rate down a good bit actually. And along with that, all the jobs that are still in the United States, they're laying people off, and then they're hiring scabs and illegal immigrants to do the work. In the song it says we can pay our taxes and we can pay our dues, and that basically means even though we can pay whatever the government wants us to pay, when it comes down to the time that we need money, they're not going to help us unless we're way below poverty rate. And it mentions in the song about how he keeps his Dodge truck in a person's garage a couple blocks away, and it says that's basically saying, talk about the levels that people will go to not get their objects taken away from them because they can't pay their bills, and that they'd actually have to live in that truck because people will come and take your houses away if you can't afford to pay your bills. But that's it.
Questions?